Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Tishta Dridrume Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakto Va Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Citam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagava Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Munsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Eho Shude Hayamo Shude Svoha Ram Ho Shude Svoha Lam Ho Shude Svoha Bam Ho Shude Svoha Eyam Ram Lam Bam Shude Svoha Om Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svoha O Ye Dharma Hetun Prabha Hetun Tesha Tathagato Yavadata Teshan Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaya Svoha Om Chönam Tamche Gyule Jung Tegyu Deshin Shekpe Sung Gyula Gokpa Kaimba Gejon Chembo Teke Sung Gejon Chembo Jingilo Gejon Chembo Modrupsol Gejon Chembo Trashisho. Pagina 26. Page 26. Dalu tame chiura pede te tuche teche gyayun dramadan yerme trinchen tsawe lamani kudo karmara tsembe langso de chaye cheche dorje pe karda yempe tribu tanche pe makar Tsimpe chuke niente tamage, chogo sumso serdo penshetse, dorje kilrun vuguru vunasho, tukara lape lamo markedo, chaye chechin yumbe utapal, kuncho sumso chage tukaratsin, tarda rinche genge tsepralu, Yekya yungu ongu shupe Tukara tamye jango vesera par semba sumge dani chengyurpe. Nengar oma honda soha tse. Nando yeshe rangna rikse se. Tuge vege kyamne malupa. Chendra timbe kundu dani kyur. Gosong gube gwene chatse lo ngosha yidru chopa malubul tome nesa dikdun tamche sha kepa gewa namla jira korwa maton pardo lekshune drola cheki korlo korwa dang dashen genan chancho chembor Sashi peki chushi me totra rira lingshe nide gembadi sangye shindu mikte ulwargi drogu namda shingla chuparisho yedam guru radna mandra kam niryatayami Tukara tinze sembe takurtu Yige chube ngagi korwar gyur Om tare ture soha 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 Om tare ture Om tare ture soha 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 Om tare Om tare ture soha 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 Om tare Om tare ture soha 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 Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Tutare Ture Svoha. Om Tare 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 Tutare Ture Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha. 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 Svoha. Om Tare Tutare Ture 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 Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha. 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 Svoha. Om Tare Tutare Ture 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 Svoha. Lojo Sambo Pagyo Trashipa Tuche Tembe Trinle Yermoda Pege Drolo Zambe Tsebrache Sowa Omo A Guru Vajra Dara Sumatimo Nishasane Uta Varda Nishri Badra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Om Guru Vajradhara Sumati Muni Shasaneka Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhara Sumati Muni Shasan Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhara Sumati Muni Shasan Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhara Sumati Muni Shasane Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhara Sumati Muni Shasane Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhara Sumati Muni Shasane Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsama Sarva Siddhi Hum. Palden Tsawe Lama Rinpoche Dagi Ninkar Pede Tenshu Kadrin Chembe Gone Jesonte Koson Toge Ngodru Sadu So Sangye Chedan Tsoge Chonamla Chanchu Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chushe Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparasho Sangye Chedan Tsoge Chonamla Chanchu Pardo Dani Dagi Chushe Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparasho Sangye Chedan Tsoge Chonamla Chanchu Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chushe Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparasho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge and enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, we have arrived in the part of the practice where we have the self-generation and self-healing, so we don't have enough time to go in details into every aspect of the practice. So what we will do is we will just go in a more, let's say, superficial way through the whole practice. Then according to time, we can go deeper into different parts. Okay? So, as we go through the sadhana, just trying to give a brief explanation now. We start in page number 51. And we have first requesting the blessings of Guru Buddha Arya Tara. Actually, we have already done this before in the part of the Guru Yoga. Okay? And we have also done the part of purification. So if we want, it's possible to start directly from page number 55 or 54. Depends the way how we want to do. Okay? But now let's just follow the way how it's in the sadhana. To request the blessings again and again is never enough. It's never too much. It's not that it's never enough. It's never too much. So, we visualize in front of us our Guru, and in the 5 chakras of our Guru is Arya Tara. We have a white Tara at the crown, a red Tara at the throat, a blue Tara at his heart, a yellow Tara at the navel, and a green Tara at the sacral chakra. If we want to make more details, around each one of these Taras there are many other Taras according to the number of channels of each chakra. So we have 32 other white Taras at the crown, 16 other red Taras at the throat, another 8 blue Taras at the heart, another 64 yellow Taras at the navel, and another 32 green Taras at the sacral chakra. But we should start visualizing what is more suitable to our mind, I think. Right away to do so many that is maybe a little bit too difficult. So we start just Guru Buddha and imagine the 5 Taras, one at his own chakras, okay? The Taras represent his own qualities developed at his maximum potential. So, as we request the blessings, we have white, red, blue, yellow, and green light that emanates from the 5 chakras of Guru Buddha, absorbing to our 5 chakras, purifying our negativity, revitalizing our qualities, blessing our body, speech, mind, quality, and action. Okay? Which is like we request the blessings in order to be able to develop the qualities and to purify the negativities related to each one of our chakras. After that, we have what is called the relative purification. The relative purification is basically, we have the purification of the 5 elements, and here is combined the purification of the elements also with the elimination of the negativities in the form of a specific animal. And we have nothing against animals, but simply we use the form of the animal to represent the different negativities, okay? So we do this at this part, purifying first the earth at the sacral chakra, then we purify the wind at the navel, water at the heart, fire at the throat, and space at the crown. And after that, we have the 100-syllable Vajrasattva mantra, as we imagine a flow of nectar coming from Guru Buddha's Arya Tara's heart to our crown, purifying all our negativities, okay? Just as we did before. Up to this next point, where we have the absolute purification, is what we call, let's say, the preliminaries of the self-generation. After that, we have the absolute purification, which is the meditation on emptiness and the process of death. And this is like the border between the preliminaries and the generation stage. And then after that, we start with the generation stage, where we will generate the lotuses, the 6 syllables, the symbols, the 5 taras, and then we go to page 64, where we have the completion stage, where we'll do the meditation on each one of the 5 taras, and actually we have here the 4 initiations. So we have the vase initiation, secret initiation, wisdom initiation, and word initiation. And after that, we have the conclusion of the practice. Okay? So let's, as we go step by step. I'm just trying to keep myself not to go into details, otherwise we will have no time to see everything. Okay? So, once we have reached here, in page 54, we have actually reached the part in which we do what is called the interdependence purification and the absolute purification. So, let me just try to explain in briefly what's the meaning of this, one of the reasons of this meditation. So, why do we suffer? Okay. Basically, we suffer because, not because of external conditions, but because of our internal conditions. Because of our anger, jealousy, pride, miserliness, fear, and so on. Where actually does these emotions come from? These emotions, they come from our selfishness. Our selfishness that is actually a manifestation of our own ignorance. Okay. So, briefly, the root of all our suffering is our ignorance. So in order to eliminate suffering, we must eliminate our ignorance. But ignorance, that is the ignorance of grasping at inherent existence, is not something that happens only in a gross, let's say, conceptual level. It exists most of all in a very subtle, spontaneous level. So the way to eliminate ignorance is using one characteristic of our mind, that is our inability to think of two objects that are directly opposite at the same time. We're not able to think of two things that are directly opposite at the same time. We're not able to have two direct opposite modes of apprehension at the same time. So, we're not able to think at the same time, oh, the cup is of inherent existence and the cup lacks inherent existence, or one or the other. We're not able to put both of them together. Okay? So, basically what we do is that at this moment of the practice, what in Tantra what it teaches us is how to generate wisdom that realizes the lack of inherent existence in a gross, subtle, and very subtle level. Because if I only realize it in a gross level, I will only be able to deal with ignorance in a gross level. Okay? And the ignorance that we bring from life to life is in a very subtle level. So we need to generate it at that very subtle level. So what we do is basically we use the process of death to do that. During the process of death, our mind, the gross mind, dissolves into the subtle mind dissolves into the very subtle mind. Actually, what happens is that the gross mind loses its strength, and then the subtle mind manifests more clear. Then the subtle mind loses its strength, and then the very subtle mind manifests more clear. Okay? So, at this moment, the last thought of our gross mind will direct the subtle mind. And the last thought of our subtle mind will direct the very subtle mind. So the objective is that we need to generate the realization of the lack of inherent existence during the process of the solution, just before it, in our gross level, so that our subtle level mind will follow exactly that same thought. Okay? So,
We do this basically first by meditating on the interdependence. So first what we do is we meditate on the interdependence of all phenomena, and we can specifically meditate on one or another, which means normally when we meditate on interdependence, we cannot just meditate on interdependence generally. We must have an object that we meditate that is interdependent. Okay, the same thing is for emptiness. So we can meditate on interdependence of a cup or of ourselves or anything else. Okay, so basically there are three levels of interdependence, which is we have the first level, that is we observe that the object depends on causes and conditions. Then we have the second level, that it depends on parts to exist. And then we have the fourth level, in which the object doesn't exist independently of the imputation of the name, which means somehow, in very briefly, it means that everything that exists in dependence of the name that is being attributed to it on the basis of its own parts. So, for example, if we take, for instance, this book, no? And we ask ourselves, what is a book? The book, we could say it's an object that is used to read, so to transmit to us knowledge, based on words and phrases and chapters, that is written on pages. And so it must have pages, it must have ink, it must have words and chapters, and it must be binded, otherwise it's just a bunch of pages together, bound and so on. So what happens is that basically the book has specific characteristics, specific functions, and at the same time the book it has many parts together, okay? The book cannot exist independently of the pages, the book cannot exist independently of the words that are in there, and so on. So, but if we really go to see what is the book is simply an attribution of value, of an attribution of characteristics and functions based on a union of parts. Okay? What are the parts here? We have the words, the chapters, the pages, and so on. These are the parts on which we are going to attribute characteristics and functions. That's what a book is. If I do not attribute the same characteristics and functions, it will just be a bunch of pages together. It is not necessarily a book. Okay? So, what happens is that every phenomena, even if we take, for instance, our own self, if I ask myself, what am I? Myself, I am nothing more, nothing less. That an attribution of characteristics and functions based on a union of parts. What are my own union of parts? Body and mind. Okay, so what is Lama Michel? It's nothing more than an attribution of characteristics and functions based on a union of parts. What are these parts? Again, my body and my mind. Then if I look at the body, what is the body? An attribution of characteristics and functions based on a union of parts. And like this we could go on and on and on and on. So, the interdependence in its deepest level is the interdependence that exists for everything between its own parts and the attribution of its functions and characteristics, which is called a name. So what we do basically, I'm not going to go into details about this correct view of reality right now. It's something quite complex and we cannot do it in very short time, but we meditate on the interdependence, for example, of ourselves. And once we meditate on the interdependence of ourselves, until we get to the conclusion, I lack inherent existence. We let the mind that grasps ourselves as being of inherent existence to appear, and then we observe ourselves and we say, no, I lack inherent existence. Why? Because I am interdependent. So once we get to this point, is the part of the practice where we make the mantra, Om Swabhava Shuddha, Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddha Harm. At this moment, we actually meditate that we lack inherent existence. And the same way that I lack inherent existence, all phenomena also lack inherent existence. The meaning of the mantra is Om is body, speech, and mind. Swabhava means nature. Shuddha means pure. Sarva, all. Dharma, phenomena. Swabhava, nature. Shuddha, pure, actually Shuddha, pure, Aham, I am, which Shuddha Aham becomes Shuddhaham. Okay? So, if we make a literal translation, it will be Om, which means it represents body, speech, and mind. Nature, pure, all phenomenon. Nature, pure, I am. Which means all phenomena are of a pure nature. What is the pure nature? They lack inherent existence. And so I do myself. So all phenomena are empty of inherent existence, and so am I. This is the meaning of this mantra. So, as we meditate on the lack of inherent existence, we stay in that state of meditation as long as we can. And then after that, we will go through the process of dissolution. Sometimes this mantra is added actually after the dissolution of the elements in the moment of clear light. Personally, I prefer to do it before. Basically, why? Because how can I be in clear light and suddenly meditate on emptiness? My gross mind is not there anymore. I cannot direct my mind anymore. So the only way for me to meditate on emptiness at the moment of clear light is to meditate on emptiness in the moment of my gross mind and to keep that mode of apprehension during the whole process of dissolution. So what we do is that as we meditate on the dissolution of the elements, which is the gross part of death, and as we do in the meditation of the dissolution of our subtle body, which is the subtle part of death, which are the four visions, the white, red, black, and clear light, we have different appearances coming to us. I'm not going to go into details on this. Who is interested to go into details on the process of death, there are the teachings on the 9 mixings that are available also as audio, so you can access it. But it's inside SoundCloud, so you can access it. And the 9 mixings, the 9 unions. So in that teachings we have the detailed part of this whole process. But the important thing here is that as we go through this process, it's also written here in the sadhana, that all the phenomena dissolve into us. And when it dissolves into us, it's not like the phenomena stop existing. It's actually we are not able anymore to perceive them. That's why we see the appearance is that they dissolve into us. That's what happens when we die. It's like when we fall asleep. We're not able to perceive anymore the world around us. Okay? And here, the dissolution is said to be like if we go to the glass and we do no? In Tibetan it's called hadap. I don't think we have a word specifically, a verb for this in English. Anyhow, as we do in the mirror, it will get completely, how do you say in English? Steamed, let's say. Okay? So what happens is that slowly the steam will get away. But the last part that gets away is the center. No? It starts from the surroundings to the center. It's the opposite if we take a clear lake and we throw a stone. It will go from the center to the edges. Here is the opposite. From the edges it will go to the center. So when we imagine like an emanation of light, it's like when we throw a stone in a clear lake. It goes to all the directions. Here, when we do the dissolution, it's exactly the opposite. So we have all the universe dissolves into us, our body dissolves into our heart, and we dissolve into the syllable tam that is in our heart. Okay? And then gradually the tam will dissolve. Here we have in page 56, I have added the little parts of the tam as it dissolves, so that just to help the visualization, okay? So what happens is that, without going into details now, but the dissolution is happening until we reach the end of the dissolution, that is the experience of clear light. The important point here that I want to make clear is that once we have actually meditated on the lack of inherent existence, before the dissolutions, that's our mode of apprehension. Whatever is the object of meditation, it's empty of inherent existence, and so am I. After that, any object that appears to us, we should also see it as being empty of inherent existence. So the mode of apprehension is always the lack of inherent existence. The appearance will change, but the mode of apprehension will remain the same. So when I have the first vision of the mirror-like vision, the mirage-like vision, It appears as a mirage and it's empty of inherent existence. Smoke like vision. It appears as smoke and it's empty of inherent existence. And like this we'll go on through each one of the visions. The white vision, the red vision, the black vision. It all appears to me as such and such visions. But we keep the mode of apprehension that it lacks inherent existence until we reach clear light. It's like similar, let's say, I look at a cup and I say, yes, this is a cup and it's empty of inherent existence. I look at a microphone, oh, that's a microphone and it's empty of inherent existence. And like this I go on. Or it's making another example, let's say I have many objects made out of clay. Okay? So I have a little man, a little horse, a little house, whatever made out of clay. And I say, oh, this is a man, but it's actually made of clay. This is a horse, but it's made of clay. This is a house, but it's made of clay. So we concentrate on the mode of apprehension as on the nature of the phenomena. So it doesn't matter, whatever appears to us, it always appears as being empty of inherent existence. So we keep this mode of apprehension from the beginning to the end of the process of dissolution. Okay? This is really a very important part. Otherwise, we may ask ourselves, oh, but I get that clear light. How can I actually meditate on emptiness in the clear light? We don't really understand that. So what we do is that we keep clarity of the mode of apprehension. That's why in the moment we reach clear light, as we have here in page 56, as the nada dissolves, my very subtle mind wakes up and I experience the clear light of bliss. This part of meditation, it must have 4 aspects, which in Tibetan is called Nawa Tongsa Ngengo Ranshi Meba Yulchen Dewa Chembo Chokung Agyal, which means the appearance is of a total emptiness. So the appearance that we have is of this infinite emptiness full of light. I like to say it full of light, otherwise most of us, we may imagine this total darkness. But here is clear light. So imagine this. It's total emptiness because there is no beginning or end. There is no the concept of space or big or small, here or there, you or me. It's simply emptiness. And it's totally empty. It's very full of light, empty. The second thing is the mode of apprehension is that this infinite emptiness is empty of inherent existence. So we keep the same mode of apprehension. Who is actually experiencing this lack of inherent existence is the mind of great bliss. It's like I can perceive an object with jealousy, with anger, with joy, with sadness in a neutral way. This is the mode, the mind that apprehends it. So great bliss is the observer. Okay? But it happens in a non-dual way. So for example, we take for instance, we have the water of the glass and the water of the bottle. 2 different waters. In the moment I put the water of the bottle inside the glass, in the glass now, is the water of the glass in the glass? Is the water of the bottle in the glass? Also. So the 2 waters are in here. Can I distinguish one from the other? No. Similar to that, in the experience of the union of great bliss and emptiness, there is emptiness, there is bliss, but we cannot distinguish one from the other. We cannot distinguish the object of perception, that is emptiness, from the object perceiver, that is bliss. Bliss is not a conceptual state of bliss. It's a non-conceptual, deep state of bliss. It's something that is very deep and strong. So, at this moment, there is this non-conceptual, non-dual experience of great bliss and emptiness. And the 4th aspect is that I have the identity that I am the Dharmakaya, which is the union of great bliss and emptiness. I am such union. Wherever there is bliss, there is emptiness. Wherever there is emptiness, there is bliss. And wherever there is bliss and emptiness, there is myself. Okay? But myself and emptiness of bliss, it's all the same thing. There is no distinction between. Okay? This is a very important meditation, not easy meditation, in the sense it takes a long time before we're really able to understand it and do it in the correct way. But we should start, exactly because it's very important and it's not easy. We should start as soon as possible. No? So we will first meditate on emptiness according to our own ability, according to our own knowledge and our own capacity. Then we follow the process of death until we get to actual clear light. We stay in this meditation of clear light with the 4 aspects as long as we can. And then after that, we generate the intention. If I stay in the state of clear light, only a Buddha can perceive the clear light, or the Dharmakaya. So, in order to help others, I must manifest in a way that I can communicate with them. So what we do basically is that at that moment we imagine that the world, once again the universe manifests. It's not that before the universe lacked existence. It continued to exist. But I was not being able anymore to perceive it. Why? Because my gross mind lost strength, and the same thing happened to my subtle mind, and suddenly there was only my very subtle mind. So as I manifest again my subtle mind and body, the universe appears. So we visualize we are in a beautiful environment, completely beautiful. There is the mountains and beautiful animals around, and the clouds and the flowers and the trees. The description is of a very beautiful natural environment on which there is a lake, and in the center of this lake comes a beautiful lotus flower. So this lotus flower that appears, it's actually blue in color, and this lotus flower that appears, upon the lotus flower there is a sun and a moon cushion. On top of this, our mind, we, appear in the form of the 6-syllable tam. The 6-syllable tam is green in color. Okay? So I am the 6-syllable tam. I appear as the 6-syllable tam, which is the subtle body. Then it still develops more, and I appear in the form of a ray of light, a beam of light. The beam of light is more or less, like let's say 40, 50 centimeters high. And then there is this beam of light, green in color, which it represents actually our subtle body. So at this moment, this is a transformation of the bardo into the sambhogakaya, which is the transformation of bardo, the state, into intermediate state between death and rebirth, into the body of enjoyment, which is the subtle body of a Buddha. So we imagine ourselves as this beam of light. From us, light emanates in the 10 directions, purifying the suffering of every sentient being, making offerings to all holy beings, and then reabsorbing back into us. As the light and nectar reabsorb back into us, in order to help other sentient beings more clearly, we must develop a gross body, otherwise we cannot really communicate to them. So, from the state of this beam of light, we manifest in the full body of Aryatara. We have a body with one face, 2 arms. Our right hand is the mudra of supreme generosity. The left hand is the mudra of the 3 jewels. We have a beautiful green body, like emerald green body, with the right leg slightly stretched forward, the left leg bent. We have a female, young body. We have long black hair, beautiful eyes. We concentrate on the dresses that we have, the jewels, and all the different aspects of Tara. Okay? Remember, I am not myself visualizing myself as Tara. I am Tara at that moment. Okay? It's very important to do that. So we don't need to have any conflict like, oh, but how can I visualize Tara? I am a man. How can I visualize myself as a woman? Oh, I am blonde. Why should I visualize my hair black? Wouldn't it be easy to visualize myself blonde, or this or that, whatever? Oh, I am older. Why should I visualize myself younger? At this moment, I am not. I don't exist. Aryatara exists at this moment. So we are Aryatara. So, as we visualize, we enter into all the details similar to the ones when we did the frontal generation of Aryatara, as we have it detailedly, described here in the sadhana. Okay? So we visualize ourselves as Aryatara. We have a central channel which is very strong, a left and a right channel that are weaker. We have 5 main points of energy where our channels meet in the central channel, which are our 5 chakras. Okay? So we concentrate in this state of Aryatara. And we stay in that meditation for some time. Okay? Paponka Rinpoche in the sadhana actually describes that the main part of meditation is the moment of the three transformations. Actually, he says, when you get tired of meditating on the three transformations, then you can do the recitation of the mantra. Normally we do the recitation of the mantra as the main part of the sadhana. Actually, he says, first, most important thing is you meditate well in the process of death, the transformation of death into the Dharmakaya, of Bardha into Sambhogakaya, rebirth into Nirmanakaya. And he puts specific emphasis in the meditation on the part of the mantra Om Sobhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Sobhava Shuddha, up to the part of the clear light. So this is really like very, very important part where we put our emphasis. Okay? When we conclude this, we get actually to the part where we will generate what is called our body mandala. So we will generate the 5 taras in our 5 chakras, and with that we will purify our own, receive the 4 initiations, and then we will also help other sentient beings. So we go now through that explanation. After having generated ourselves as Aryatara, we start with the part that relates to the body mandala. So what we'll do, we are as Aryatara, we have a central channel, a left and a right channel that are weaker, and 5 chakras. So the generation stage here is divided into 4 steps, which is first generating the lotuses, then generate the 6 syllables, the symbols, and then the Buddhas. Okay? So first of all, we will have 1 lotus at each one of our 5 chakras. We have a green lotus at the sacral chakra with 32 petals, yellow lotus with 64 petals at the navel, blue lotus with 8 petals at the heart, red lotus with 16 petals at the throat, and white lotus with 32 petals at the crown. The lotuses, they actually represent our chakras perfectly aligned. It's exactly like as we do in self-healing. So the mantra is Pamlepema Jango, Pamlepema Serpo, Pamlepema Ngompo, Pamlepema Marpo, Pamlepema Karpo. And the mudra that we do in each chakra is called the mudra of turning the lotus together with the mudra of liberation. This mudra is called Pekor Gichakya, which is the turning lotus mudra. And then when we do this, in Tibetan it's called Chingdrol Gichakya. Ching means to bind. Trol means to liberate. So that's why I call the mantra of liberation. So first we do this, and then we imagine the lotus. And then when we open it, we imagine that the lotus is perfectly open, and then all the blockages of that chakra are completely gone away, and the energy can flow perfectly. Okay? So imagine our chakras with all the channels very clear, that energy can flow very well. So once we have finished the lotuses, we go to the part where actually we generate the 6 syllables at our 5 chakras. So we will have a white Om at the crown, red A at the throat, blue Hum at the heart, yellow So at the navel, and green Ha at the sacral chakra. The 6 syllables are the essence of the energy of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, or the 5 Great Mothers, or the 5 Taras in this case. So what we imagine is that at each one of our 5 chakras, on top of the lotus, there is the 6 syllable, which is like, imagine a mustard seed, very small seed, made out of light, with the vibration of the sound. So we have a small dot of light with the vibration of the sound Om, white in color at the crown, red A, blue Hum, yellow So, and green Ha. They're all like dots of light with the vibration of the sound. Okay? Then, each one at a time, for example, from white Om, light emanates, white in color, to all the directions, going to every sentient being, eliminating their suffering, bringing them to the state of peace, and then coming back and reabsorbing back into our crown. Then, once again, light emanates, going to all the Buddhas, making offerings to all holy beings, coming back and reabsorbing into our crown. So, this is what's called realizing the 2 purposes. Helping sentient beings and making offerings to all holy beings. So, once we have finished this part of the 5 chakras, I have just seen here that in the sadhana there was a small mistake. Let me see, in the English it's also like this. No, it doesn't look like. No, the English is okay. In Italian we have some mistakes. So we do this visualization. So after the 6 syllables will transform into the symbols. Just like in self-healing, we have a double Vajra, green in color, the secret chakra, a yellow jewel at the navel, a blue Vajra at the heart, a red lotus flower at the throat, and a white Dharma wheel at our crown. Then each one of the symbols will transform into the 5 great mothers Taras. They have the 5 Taras, they have the same mudras as green Tara. So they have the right hand in the mudra of supreme generosity, the left hand in the mudra of the 3 jewels. They are at the same time with the right leg stretched, the left leg bent, just as we have in the image of green Tara. Exactly the same. The only difference is that at the crown the Tara is white, at the throat is red, at the heart is blue, at the navel is yellow, and at the secret chakra is green. Okay? So we visualize sitting in the lotus inside our chakra is each one of the Taras. Okay? So as we go this, we follow with the same mudras as we do the mudra of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, as we do in self-healing normally. And then we go up to here, page number 64, where we start the completion stage, in which we will do the 4 initiations, and we will make the mantra recitation simulating the pure actions of a Buddha. So, as we go to the completion stage, what we will do here is we will start by receiving the vase initiation that is divided into 2 parts, which is the part of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and the Vajra Master initiation. So the first part is we receive the initiation of the 5 Supreme Healers, and we know already quite well these initiations from self-healing, so I'm not going to go into details here, just the specific parts. So first of all, we make request of blessings to Guru Buddha Tara Amoghasiddhi, that is in our secret chakra, and we say the mantra, the prayer request, Guru Tara Amoghasiddhi Nama. We make the Garuda Mudra. Then, with the blessings of Tara, as we receive the bell empowerment, we receive through a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. It purifies all the negativities related to our secret chakra, such as jealousy, envy, fear, and so on. So we purify all the negativities. As we breathe in, we receive all the qualities that revitalize, the blessings that revitalize our qualities, such as the power of realization, the certainty, which is the all-realizing wisdom, and so on. We have all of this described quite clear here in the book. And then after that, we do the mudra of Amoghasiddhi, and we recite the mantra, Om Guru Aryatara Karma Siddhi Hum. We do it for 5 times. Once we have finished it, then we do the next part, which is a specific visualization that we can also do when we do self-healing. This visualization we have, for example, we start with the green Tara that is in our secret chakra. So many emanations of green Taras get out of our secret chakra through our right channel, get out of our right nostril. If we have done the retreat of Tara, we can visualize all the 33 Taras at our secret chakra, 1 in the center and 32 around in each lotus petal. Otherwise, we just visualize 1 Tara. And then we have many emanations of Tara that come one after the other, go out of our right nostril, and they go to all sentient beings, especially those that are mostly afflicted by fear, jealousy, and envy. They go to every sentient being, purify their negativities, bring them to the state of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. And we visualize that all of them, they reach the state of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. Some are in the form of Amoghasiddhi, others in the form of green Taras. And all of them together recite the mantra together with us. As we do this, we recite the mantra Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. So as the sentient beings reach the state of Amoghasiddhi, they recite the mantra together with us. Okay? And one thing is not that the emanations of Tara will make some sort of magic and make all sentient beings reach enlightenment. Actually, they manifest according to the needs of sentient beings. So they give food to those that are hungry, they give heat to those that are cold, help to those that are suffering in all different manners. And once they are prepared, Arya Tara is guiding each one of them through the stages of the path, showing them the path, teaching the Dharma, and helping them to develop renunciation, love towards themselves, bodhicitta, love towards others, correct view of reality, the generation and completion stages of the Tantra, and guiding each and every sentient being to enlightenment. Then we visualize that every sentient being reaches the state of Buddhahood. They manifest in the form of Buddha Amoghasiddhi and green Taras. They recite the mantra together with us, and the emanations come back and reabsorb through our left nostril into the green Tara at our sacred chakra. We can also do, as some Taras go, the others are coming back, and we do this cycle. Okay? And as we do this, we recite the mantra Om Tara Tara Ture Som, Tara Tara Ture Som, Tara Tara Ture So, as we do. We can do 100 times the mantra, or we can do more as we feel comfortable. Okay? The next 4 chakras is basically the same thing. What changes is the negativities we will purify, the color of the Tara, the chakra, and so on. So from that we go to the navel, yellow Tara, the heart, blue Tara, the throat, red Tara, and the crown, white Taras. Okay? And we do exactly the same process. Go to all sentient beings, purify their negativities, come back to us. Before this, we receive the specific initiation, like the crown initiation of Ratnasambhava at the navel, purify our negativities. Then after that, as we recite the mantra of Tara, the emanations go. We do the mudra first of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, just as in self-healing, Amoghasiddhi, Ratnasambhava, Akshobhya, Amitabha, and Vairochana. And when we do the mantra Tara Tara Ture So, we don't need necessarily to do the mudra, as we just recite the mantra and visualize the Taras going, purifying sentient beings and coming back. And at this part of the practice, we are somehow simulating the holy activities of a Buddha, of helping other sentient beings. Okay? So, what we do is basically, after having received the 5 empowerments and the empowerment of the Vajra Master empowerment, we have the secret and the wisdom empowerment, the secret empowerment, wisdom empowerment, and the word empowerment. What we do basically, what's the meaning of these empowerments? It's actually generating the mind of the union of great bliss and emptiness in a gross, subtle, and very subtle level. Every empowerment that we go through is like bringing our mind to have a more subtle state of consciousness with the union of great bliss and emptiness. So, after having received the Vajra Master empowerment, we go to the secret empowerment in which we visualize the central channel. And because we are in Mother Tantra, first the red bodhicitta of female energy will go upwards from the secret to the crown chakra inside the central channel. The red bodhicitta of female energy of wisdom is like fire, so it goes up. As it goes through our channels, through our chakras, we experience the sensation of great bliss and emptiness, up to the point it gets to our crown. Then we have the opposite way, where the white bodhicitta descends. The white bodhicitta has a cool nature of like a liquid that flows downwards. So we imagine within the central channel the white bodhicitta that flows downwards, and as it goes from chakra to chakra, we have a stronger and stronger experience of great bliss and emptiness. After this, we go to the wisdom consort initiation, in which the male and female energy are united at the crown, throat, secret, navel, and heart chakra, where all the energies we have generated absorb. And then here we basically what we meditate on is that we meditate on an even deeper level of great bliss and emptiness, from a more deeper level of consciousness. Actually, the initiation of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and the Vajra Master empowerment is more like gross level. Then the secret empowerment of male and female energy and the wisdom empowerment is like the subtle level. And then the word initiation is the very subtle level. So the word initiation is very similar to the meditation of clear light. It's not exactly the same because there are some other aspects like the illusory body and so on, but we don't need to go into that right now. Basically, what we do is that at this point, not only we meditate on clear light, but we generate the identity that the very subtle mind is the Dharmakaya and the very subtle body appears in the form of Aryatara, in the form of the, we generate the identity not only in the clear light as a mind, but also as a body. Okay? So this is the moment where we should do the union of what is called the illusory body and clear light. So this is the moment basically where we, simulate enlightenment. So we are in the state of clear light. And this is when we do Om Vishwa Shanti Hum. And we stay in this as long as we can. And when we finish this, we need to generate ourselves once again in a gross way to relate to the world. So what we do is we do the prayer Lama Kuncho Sumla Kyapso Chirani La Sedore Sunlecho Donga Choso Niercho Tada Dom Gecho Kunto Jishin Drotenche. And we appear once again as Aryatara with the commitment to help every sentient being through the practice of the six perfections. Okay? So this is how we conclude this part of the practice. This is called generation of the deity of the, of between the sessions. Okay? Tunsam gil har kieva, we say in Tibetan. Tunsam means between sessions of meditation. Har means the deity, so generating the deity of between the sessions. So we generate ourselves as Tara, and then we go to eat, we go to talk, have a walk, whatever we do, we continue to see ourselves as being Tara. Okay? After this here, actually, we have the dedication for Shambhala, and we have actually the vase breathing for long life. Okay. So, after we have generated ourselves as the deity between sessions, we have the dedication to be reborn into Shambhala. And then after that, there is the part of the vase breathing for long life. This part actually is one of the most difficult parts for me to explain, most complex and more deep also. So actually, it's part of what is called the Vajra recitation, which is part of the completion stage of Tantra. And it's really something quite secret and at the same time very difficult to grab its actual deepest meaning and the way of practice. Okay, so once we finished the word initiation, as we do Lama Kunjo Sumla Kyapsuchi, we generate ourselves as Tara. As we generate ourselves as Tara, this is a generation that we do between the sessions. So in Tibetan it's called Tunsam Gilhar Kewa. So it means the deity that we generate between the sessions of meditation. So it's very similar, we just visualize ourselves as Aryatara, one face, two arms, the 6 syllables at our places, and so on. Okay. As we go through that, we have still here this part, which is more like an addendum, one extra part of the sadhana, okay? Which is actually is a meditation which is part of the completion stage, which is the vase breathing meditation. It's part of the Vajra recitation. It's something quite secret and at the same time quite difficult to grab the meaning. Even when Lama Ganchen first taught it, some people complained, saying, oh, that's too secret to show openly. But anyhow, it's still secret because nobody really understands much what it is, no? So, the way how we visualize as we do the practice is as we do the Om, we visualize white light and nectar, bringing the blessings of body of all Buddhas. They enter through our 2 nostrils, through our left and right channel, fills the right and left channel, enter through the central channel, fills the central channel with white light and nectar with the sound of Om, and the Om remains in the heart, and the whole channel is filled with the white light of the blessings of body and the vibrating sound of Om. Then we do the same thing with red light and the blessings of speech, the Hum with blue light and the blessings of mind. And then as we do the Pe, we imagine that all the negativities are completely purified. Pe also has the meaning of emptiness also, so it's like through the meditation on the lacunae of inherent existence, we eliminate the lack, the interferences that have remained there still. So, and after that we do the same, first with the white Om, body, the red, the blue Hum, mind, and finally we finish with the red A for long life, because A is a syllable of Amitabha. Amitabha is one of the forms of Amitayus, which is one of the deities of long life. So, as we do this, now I just explained a very simple visualization of it. As I said before, this is a practice that can be very deep. It's part of the completion stage. It's something quite complex, actually, and quite more than complex, quite difficult to grab at its true meaning. It's not so easy, really. So, at this part of the practice, we do it as a way also to leave an imprint in our mind of this part of the practice that is very important. Okay, the main objective of it actually is making the winds to absorb at our central channel, which is something very similar to the process of death. So that's why also we do actually the part of long life afterwards. Okay, and then finish that. After that, we simply do all the dedications, dedicating all the merits we have accumulated for the long life of our gurus, for the long life of the Dharma, the teachings, for our long life, so we may have a life long, so we are able to practice the Dharma once we have got all the conditions. We dedicate our merits for the environment, for every sentient being to be free from suffering, for every sentient being to reach the stage of enlightenment, going through the process of developing renunciation, bodhicitta, correct view of reality, the realizations of the generation and completion stage of the Tantra. So, we dedicate from the depth of our heart to every sentient being. In this way, we conclude the practice. Okay? As we conclude the practice during our daily life, we can actually visualize ourselves as Tara as we do our daily activities. Whenever we have some empty time, we just do the mantra, or at least we visualize Guru Buddha Aryatara at our own heart. Okay? And as Guru Buddha is in our heart, we visualize that, for example, when we see someone in suffering, light and nectar goes from our heart to the heart of the person, purifying the suffering of that person. And then after the light and nectar come back to our heart. Whenever we have something good, like we are eating or we see something beautiful, we dedicate that pleasure, we offer it to Guru Buddha at our heart. When we go, for example, we dress ourselves, we imagine that we're making like an offering to Aryatara as we dress ourselves, and the jewels and the clothes symbolize our qualities that we need to develop, or our inner qualities. When we go to sleep, we can imagine that actually we are sleeping on the lap of Aryatara. Our cushion is the lap of Aryatara also. There are many ways, and as we fall asleep, we can also meditate on the process of dissolution of the elements of the process of death. Okay? There are many things that we can do, basically in order to be practicing while meditating and between the sessions of meditation also. Okay? So in this way we'll be constantly connected with the practice. And we do the mantra as we go along during the day. We have some empty time here and there, we just do the mantra Tara Ture Soha, and we can do the same visualization of light and nectar, going to all sentient beings, purifying their negativities, coming back, and so on. Okay? So, in this way we have somehow concluded the explanation of the practice of Tara. We can do it in a very extensive way, we can do it in a more quick way, and as we have seen, we have three different parts, which is the Guru Yoga with the preliminaries, the frontal generation, and the self-generation. If we are able to do the whole thing, it's very good. Otherwise, we can also put emphasis in one part, the Guru Yoga, or the frontal generation, or the self-generation. Okay? Generally speaking, Lama Ganchen gave the permission for everyone to do also the self-generation, but the best would be to do the self-generation after having received the initiation. Okay? But it doesn't mean that if you do, something bad is going to happen to you. But it becomes, you have the means to gain the realizations, most of all once you have received the initiation. Okay? So we'll just like to conclude the practice doing once again the part of the Guru Yoga, and then we will conclude with the absorption of the Guru at our heart. So we sit in a comfortable position, with our back straight but not tense. Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani, page number 26. We are sitting in a comfortable position with our back straight but not tense. Our shoulders are relaxed. Our mouth is relaxed. And our eyes are slightly closed, looking downwards. As we inhale and exhale. At our crown appears a lotus flower with a sun and a moon cushion, above which is seated Guru Buddha. In the appearance as our Guru, with one face and two arms, sitting cross-legged, our Guru smiles at us, with his right hand in the mudra of teaching the Dharma, similar as Vairocana, the left hand in the mudra of meditation. At the heart of Guru Buddha is a lotus flower with a sun and a moon cushion, above which is Aryatara. Aryatara with a beautiful female young body, green in color like emerald. She has the right hand in the mudra of supreme generosity, the left hand in the mudra of the three jewels. Her right leg is stretched, the left leg is bent. She's dressed with noble clothes, and she's wearing different jewels, symbolizing her inner qualities, such as the six perfections, as generosity, morality, patience, joyful effort, concentration, and wisdom. Aryatara has a beautiful long black hair, beautiful eyes, and an expression emanating love, wisdom, strength. Aryatara smiles at us as we feel loved, protected, guided on the right path. At the heart of Aryatara is the six-syllable Tam, from which light emanates as an auric body going in the 10 directions, filling the whole universe. We make prostrations to Guru Buddha Aryatara, we make offerings, we openly admit all our negativities, as we rejoice for all the positive actions of all the holy beings and ordinary beings. We request Guru Buddha Aryatara to remain with us until the end of samsara, to guide us with the holy Dharma at every moment, and we dedicate our merits for the enlightenment of every sentient being. Gosung gope gone chatse lo ngosha yidru chopa malu bul tome nesa dikton tamche sha kepa gewa namla jeira korwa matong pardo lekshune drola chöki korlo korwada dashenge nan chanchu chemborngu. We request Guru Buddha Aryatara to bless our body, speech, mind, quality, and action. Sashi pöki chushi metotra rirav lingshi nide gembadi sangye shinto mikte uvargi drogu namda shingla chöparash yedam guru ratna mandra kam niryatayami. At the heart of Guru Buddha Aryatara is a syllable Tam, around which is the mantra Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, turning anti-clockwise. As we make the mantra and request the blessings, white, red, blue, yellow, and green light emanates from the 5 chakras of Guru Buddha Aryatara, absorbing at our 5 chakras, purifying our negativities, revitalizing our qualities, bringing us the blessings of body, speech, mind, quality, and action. Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha. 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 Om Tare Tutare Ture Svoha.
Om Tare Tuttare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tuttare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tuttare Ture Svoha. Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tuttare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tuttare Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tuttare Ture Svoha. Ture Svoha. Om Tare Tuttare 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 Ture Som Tare Tuttare Ture Som Tare Tuttare Ture Som Tare Tuttare Ture Som Tare. Soha Om Tare Tuttar Ture Soha. Locho Sampo Pagyo Trashi Pa Tuche Tempe Trinle Yarmoda Pege Drolo Zambe Zebraci Pande Lame Shabla Solvade Omo A Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasane Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasaneka Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Uta Vardanya Shri Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasaneka Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasaneka Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasaneka Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum. After making requests and receiving the blessings from the 5 chakras of Supreme Healer Guru Buddha Tara, we request Guru Buddha Tara to remain with us at every moment of our life. Accepting this request, Guru Buddha descends from our crown to our heart, where on an 8-petaled lotus flower with a sun and a moon cushion, Guru Buddha Aryatara joyfully sits. Our body, speech and mind becomes inseparable with the body, speech and mind of Guru Buddha Aryatara, and we experience
a strong and deep sensation of joy, infinite inner space full of love, a deep experience of peace. Alden Tsawe Lama Rinpoche Dagi Ninkar Pede Tenshu La Kadrin Chembo Gone Chesonte Koson Toge Ngodru Sedu So. Chetsun lame kotse rabten chi namkar trinle cholchur gepada losan tempe drume sasumgi drove munse tatu ne gyurchi chanchub semcho rinpoche make panan ke gyurchi Kepa nyampar me kongne konto pelvarsho korvale droltarema tutarayechi Nawanam ledrol drol mayum la chat seoloyo korvale drol tarem tutara Yejigedrol Ture Nawanam Ledrol Drol Mayum La Chatseloyo Korvale Drol Taremam Tarayejiget Ture Nawanam Ledrol Drol Mayum La Chatselo Chancho Semcho Rinpoche Make Panam Ke Gyurchi Kepa Nyampar Me Payang Kongne Konto Pelwarsho Gewa Din Yordo Da Pama Droma Drupkyurne Drowa Chikyang Malupa Te sala köparshum Nimo dele tsendele Nime kuyandele kshin Nin sentaktu delekpe Concho som ki jingilo Concho som ki ngodrupso Trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the rituals grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspicious. Trascidele.